husband, I was like, hey, it was so embarrassing to admit, but I was like, I need a place to stay because my lease is ending and I just broke up with my boyfriend, and maybe, even if it's just like for a couple weeks, it's okay. Just while I look for, somewhere else, because I had planned on needing to find somewhere else. And he was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife. Very true. So it's just all about.
I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was daddy.
I am the niece of the trophy wife's husband. This lady is completely insane. Let's just start
quickly that everything that glitters is not gold. I happened to come across Shira 7 on YouTube, and she completely changed my life. And she basically taught me what a high value man is and what to look for when trying to find a husband. So I ended up taking my sister's advice and signing up for eHarmony. I think the second person that I matched with was the man that I'm married to now, my husband. And it was very different. My husband and I have a 20-year age gap, and he was not the first older man that I dated. So when I met my husband, I knew right away almost, and people say that, but it was definitely true. I know it sounds cliche. Just from our first date, it just felt natural. I felt like I just had known this person already. It was so comfortable. So we went to a really nice seafood restaurant, and it was great. It was an amazing first date. And mind you, I think we both were kind of just dating different people at the time, and that's definitely something that I recommend if you're looking to, find a husband. It's not just dating one person at a time. It's not good to put all your eggs in one basket. But we had a great first date, and I think he ended up asking me to be his girlfriend on the first date, and I said I would think about it. I'm not just going to agree to be your girlfriend just after meeting you, because I know that you just want me to be your girlfriend so that you can get in my pants. So,
he asked you to be his girlfriend on the first date? That's not strange? That's not like red flag vibes? I'm just saying, if my sister came up to me and told me that, excuse me, y'all, if I sound nasally, I'm sick right now. If she told me that this dude asked me to be his girl on a first date, I would say that is a red flag. He's trying to rush. He's not trying to move with intentions of getting to know you to actually make you his girl. There's another reason why he's trying to get with you, because there's no dude is about to just make a girl his girl off the first date. That's wild. I know they be saying love at first sight, but I've only seen that in movies.
I didn't agree, and we both were, we were talking, but then for some reason we kind of stopped talking for a little while, and we both were dating other people and doing our own thing, and then I had gotten into a serious relationship with somebody, and I ended up falling for the girlfriend trap, but that guy had really been investing a lot into me and doing a lot for me, so I kind of felt like I had to agree to be his girlfriend, because he asked me multiple times, and I finally agreed. So after me and him broke up, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel like a family, the kind of family that I was wanting, so I ended up breaking up with him, and we were living together. And I just packed all my stuff and left. And it was crazy because the next day, my now husband, reached out to me and was like, hey, how are you doing? And I told him, I just got out of a relationship, and I kind of told him a little bit about why. And he was telling me oh, those are my boys, and he had genuinely really connected with my kids, and he was not the kind of man that was just be nice to them to get to me. It was very genuine, and that was one of the things that I really loved about him. That was something that stood out about him versus other men that I had dated, was he really embraced the fact that I had children because he wanted children. And so, he was talking, my lease was going to be ending very soon, which is why I went ahead and moved in with my person that had became my ex. We started living together, and I told my husband, I was like, hey, it was so embarrassing to admit, but I was like, I need a place to stay because my lease is ending, and I just broke up with my boyfriend, and maybe, even if it's just for a couple weeks, it's okay. Just while I look for, somewhere else, because I had planned on needing to find somewhere else. And he was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend. And I was like, well, how spontaneous are you? And he laughed, and he said, very spontaneous. So then I was like, right. So we started entertaining the idea of getting married.
So you moved you and your kids into some stranger's house, your boyfriend, I guess your ex now. You moved into his house, had your kids over there. Then you figure, oh, my lease is about to be up. I need somewhere else to stay. So you move in with a guy that you met off of an app, but you never really had a relationship with. And because he says to you, well, if you're going to live with me, you got to be my wife. You became his wife. And that's how y'all got married. Is that where the story's going? So you moved in with a stranger. By no means necessary am I saying SA is allowed, is it okay or anything, but we have to hold you accountable. You needed somewhere to stay, so you moved you and your kids to a stranger's house? Parents, do not traumatize your children just because you want to find a mate so bad. You're introducing your daughters, your sons to multiple men and just setting a horrible example for them. You open them up to possible SA interactions. You know, you're not even getting to know people before you're moving your kids in with them, all because you don't have nowhere to stay. I'm not gonna lie, that's giving real broke girl homeless vibes. And you know, you're just gonna bring your kids along with you, and whatever happens happens. Know what I mean? So if something did happen, you hold a big responsibility in that, because what you just said, you did not know this man when you decided to marry him. You did not know this man for real when you decided to move in with him. You said that on the first date, this man tried to make you his girlfriend. You basically said, nah. Y'all fell out of connection for a little bit. Y'all was dating different people, reconnected a day after you and your ex broke up, and then you said, hey, well, I really need somewhere to stay, so you don't mind. And that's when he said, well, you're gonna have to be my wife if you're gonna do that. That don't sound like I love you so much that I want to make you my wife. I want to spend the rest of my life with you based off the things that I know about you, based off of the things that we share, based off the experiences that we've had as girlfriend and boyfriend. My parents likes you, your parents like me, like my kids love you. Like it doesn't seem like it was like that. It just seemed like you needed somewhere to stay and he had an ultimatum, so you had to marry him. So now you put your kids in a compromising position. If you ask me, if something happened, a lot of that falls on you.
And
let's go.
I, didn't want to get my hopes up, so I just said that, he's saying all these things, but I'm going to see what action he takes. And so I had just got paid, and I was like, okay, we seem like we're really talking about seriously entertaining the idea of getting married. So I'm going to go and get the wedding ring. We were talking about getting married like the next week, and he was out of town in Colorado, so we hadn't seen each other. This is all talk over phone, over FaceTime. So I went and got his ring. I think I paid like $300 for it. It wasn't like a super flashy ring like the one he has now, which is completely a lot better. But I went and got his ring, and the next time we talked on FaceTime, I was like, I did something. And he was like, what did you do? I was like, I got your wedding ring. So he was like, no, you didn't. Show me.
She bought the wedding ring before he bought a wedding ring. So she proposed to her. Am I bugging? If I tell you, yo, I bought you a wedding ring, isn't that me letting you know, like, I'm trying to make that move? Isn't that me making that move? You made a move on him. He let you know you gonna have to be my wife. You went ahead and went ring shopping. This is really discombobulated. Like, the sad part about all of this is you have your kids involved in your mess.
I actually did it, I don't know if you were really being serious, but we were talking about getting married. So then after that, I think
she gives crazy vibes now.
He told me to go online and check my eHarmony profile. So I went on there and I saw that he had updated his picture, and I was like, oh no, this dude is playing around. Like, I'm glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on this ring. Like, he was just playing. And I screenshotted it and sent him a picture, and I said, it doesn't seem like we're on the same page, so yeah, I'm done with this. And he texted me. He was like, or I think he tried to call me, I didn't answer. And he texted me and he was like, no, I'm serious, I am going to marry you, in caps. And I think that evening he ended up going and buying my ring. He went and bought my ring. And the ring that he got me is not the ring I have now. It was a nice ring, but it wasn't nearly as big as the rock that I'm currently sporting. But when he showed it to me, in my head, I said, it's not about the ring, it's about the marriage. And I definitely think that that's something that you ladies should keep in mind, is that if a man's going to propose to you, don't make it about the ring, because that can really turn a man off and make him think that that's all that you care about is having a big ring, when it's more important to have the marriage. And
It's more important to get to know somebody. How do you think you could be teaching women and giving them lessons right now when you ain't even get to know this man? You wasn't even in a real relationship. Were ladies listening to this? There's really sides of the internet that's really hurting the dating game. You have alpha males that is telling men all type of things to hate women. Then you have these drizzle girls. That's like the blind leading the blind. Like, what do you mean you think it's not the ring, it's the marriage? Okay, yes. But what about the relationship? What about getting to know this man? What about you living with him, or you seeing how he lives, or experiencing this man before you bring your kids in this man's house just because you need somewhere to live? That is one of the saddest things I hear, is that people drag their kids in these relationships. If you get into the relationship with somebody, you do not have to be quick to introduce your kids to them. Give it some time. Make that a reward that the person has to earn one day in the future. They should not just quickly meet your kids, because once that person leaves your life, they're also leaving your kid's life. And your kid has no idea why. They just know that they had a friend and they could no longer talk about that friend. They can't see that friend no more. It's almost like that person is dead to the kid. Now, I mean, and kids don't know how to grieve properly. They just know, oh, well, you know, I had a friend and the friend is no longer around. All because mommy needed somewhere to stay. That's why we was over there. That's selfish.
I knew that in my heart. I was like, all right, I'm not going to say anything about the size of the ring. You know, still a nice ring. I'm going to take it and we're going to get married. So we ended up getting married the next week. Everybody was shocked. Also, something that I want to
So they got married.
Becoming his wife and really being the kind of woman that could just get a ring like that took work. At that time, I had really become a better version of myself, a better version of the woman that was dating thugs and, you know, living in some kind of secular lifestyle. I had to become the kind of woman that a man would want to take around his colleagues and his mother and be the woman of adding value to him just by standing next to him. But yeah, I know it's kind of a interesting story, but I also helped two of my sisters to get married. They both got married in less than a year as well. So I'm really good at knowing how to get women the ring and to get the kind of men that you will be proud of. So if you ladies are interested in learning more about how to become a trophy wife,
She's helping ladies get the ring. As if getting the ring is the goal. Getting the ring is not the goal, ladies. Like, I don't know what this lady was teaching y'all, but getting the ring should not be the goal. Getting the ring from the man that you are in love with, and he is in love with you. He respects you. Y'all have went through the right process. Y'all have gotten to know each other. And then you got a ring through that love that God has blessed y'all with is the goal. It's not just getting the ring. To me, that sounds like a scheme. That sounds like a finesse. Like, yo, you find a high value man. Now, I mean, usually a dude with some bread, a dude with some money, and get that ring. Nothing about that has to do with love, and that's the problem.
I stayed in situations much longer than I had to because I had children in those situations. So I understand the struggle of that, definitely. But you know, there's that saying, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you'll make a change, and that's very true. So it's just all about whenever you have the courage to do that. I don't even know where to start. 6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter. And I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh, God. Gosh.
So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was daddy.
So now apparently things got even crazier because the niece of her husband, her ex-husband, has reacted to the situation.
My name is Dee, and I am the niece of the trophy wife's husband. Now, I know you know who the trophy wife is because she's been going up and down my timeline for the last couple of days. Her name is Isis, or Paloma, which is her real name. This lady is completely insane. Let's just start from there. Background story. Her and my uncle got together really quick. From what I've been seeing and what I've been told, she thought that she was getting a come up with my uncle. But then when things didn't go her way and she pretty much seen that she could no longer hide the things that she was doing behind closed doors, she ended up trying to find a different route, which was to come on here and lie to you all and tell you that her daughter had been touched by her dad, which that is not the case. Her daughter had been touched by her son, and she didn't want anybody to know because she wanted to try to make it seem like my uncle was the bad guy because she wasn't getting what she wanted in the divorce.
This is like some Lifetime movie type stuff. Like, what is this? What is going on?
Who sat up there and thought to yourselves, oh, this cannot be true. This can't be, something that a woman would allow, which it's not. It's not something that a woman would allow. I am a victim of whatever you want to call it. And I don't appreciate one bit of the accusations being put out there, especially not just because they're fake, not just because that they're out there just for clout, but because of the fact that this involves a family member of mine who I care about dearly. Multiple family members, if you want to put that out there, because the kids are my family too. The boys are somebody else's. The girls and the last baby are a part of my family. And if they're being harmed in any kind of way, I definitely would want to stand up for them. Her son is the one that the baby first initially said that was touching her. My grandmother was changing the baby one day and she seen that it was red down there and she said that her brother did it. Now, when they went to...
Look, man, at this point, I don't know what to believe. I don't know who to believe. All I know is that this lady had no business moving in with this man. All right. I don't know if it was the sons. I don't know if it was the dad. I don't know. This is not my situation. But what I do know is we need to hold this woman accountable. She needs to hold herself accountable. And everything that I'm saying is allegedly. All right. Let me just say this. All of this is allegedly. I don't know any of this. Now, I'm just reacting. But the way you're moving around with your kids, like, you got to be more careful. You can't just be moving house to house with your kids.
The court did not believe what she was saying because Paloma had already Isis had already put out a case against my uncle because my uncle was furious when he found out that her oldest son was touching the girls. So he went out and tried to, seek help to figure out what he should do about getting her son away from the girls so that they would no longer have to go through this. But as soon as he did that, Isis went and took papers out on him claiming that he did it because she didn't want her son to go down for it.
Wow. This is crazy.
For sure. But on top of all of this, she's sitting over here acting like she's the best parent in the world, when if y'all go look for yourself, y'all will see that she has a child abuse case of her own. Her youngest son she tried to put it on my uncle that he abused her youngest son, which loves my uncle to death. But the day that her and her ex tried to put out there that my uncle had abused her son, he wasn't in the state. He wasn't nowhere near. So once they went to the hospital and they took the little boy to the hospital, the one thing that they didn't do this time is the social workers pulled him aside and started asking him questions and asked him, who hurt you? Come to find out, the little boy told and said that it was her. Not only that, her oldest son has sent my uncle threatening messages. He has rubbed poop on the walls at multiple family members' house, including theirs. He has pushed his younger brother down the stairs to the point where he had a concussion, and she didn't want to take him to the hospital because she didn't want them to know that she had, a son that had been abusing on her other kids.
Yo, this is really a lot. But yo, parents, we have to be careful with our kids. We got to be careful who we bring our kids around. We got to be careful with the interactions our kids have. We have to talk to our kids. Ladies that's out there trying to find a ring and stuff like that. You're trying to be a trophy wife by finding a man with money and then moving in with them. Look at the type of situation this lady found herself in. At this point, I don't even know what to believe. Yo, y'all comment below. Tell me what y'all think about this story. Who do y'all think is telling the truth? What do you think the mom could have did better? I want to see y'all talking in the chat down below. All right. Hey, man, it's me, your boy, TybuggyTV. Make sure you hit that subscribe, like button, all that good stuff. Until next time, man, I'm out of here.